I'm Jessica Michibata. I am a model from Japan. I now currently living in Hawaii in the United States. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. This has been such a wonderful, wonderful journey. I have a 4-year-old daughter, so writing my own children book cannot be like this. This whole project could not come to me in such a better, time. So I was born and raised in Japan. I grew up in rather than a countryside. My first 12 to 13 years of my life, I was in a countryside, a place called Fukui. And then my family moved to Tokyo, and I started my modeling career then. And I'm half Japanese. My mother is Japanese and my father is Argentinian. Well, it's funny because when I was younger, I probably identify myself more mixed. I mean, I'm not sure. It's hard to say because growing up in that countryside in Japan, there weren't that many mixed race people like me, I have to say. And I definitely have my struggle because, like I said, I was born and raised in Japan. I went to Japanese school all my life. I only spoke Japanese, only a little bit of Spanish. So for me, I was fully aware of, how I was a little different from, from my other Japanese friends, how I look different and everything. But, how I think and sound and write and see and read, everything is in Japanese. So I mean, now I feel like I have more stronger Japanese identity though. Growing up, being a woman, a girl, I think things can be quite challenging at times, right? Definitely like growing up in Japan, especially being a countryside, being mixed race, definitely I had my own struggles. And, one of the big struggle, I obviously wrote that in the book. And even like 20s, I mean 20s seem fun, but it's also such a confusing or like a little time, you know what I mean. And then I mean I became a mother in my early 30s, and I went through a big shift from working hard and like living this really busy life in Tokyo to like kind of really slowing down and taking care of my baby, like building a family. For me, that was a big shift. And I feel like I'm finally starting to kind of really like, find my own balance being a mother, but also still being myself, because I tend to like, I think a lot of the mothers out there go through this. And it's quite common that you kind of like, because you become so devoted, especially when your child is so little, you just, there's just not much enough time for yourself. And then you kind of tend to put yourself, like you don't really put yourself as a priority and all that. So I definitely struggle like finding a good balance. And for me was also part of it, a big part of was doing like this whole building my own family, raising a child in another country without my family support was quite hard, And I know many people do that, especially in a country like America. So many people come here, migrant and immigrant and all that. So I mean, it's just it's been a beautiful journey, but like I've been learning a lot in this journey for sure. Kind of like how to really find my own identity through being a mother. This is something I've learned. I realized like, oh, it's totally fine to be mixed, and it's, if anything, it's kind of cool, it's good to be different, you know what I mean. That's what makes us like, I mean, all of us interesting, whether you're 100% one race or a mix or this and that, I come from different place, speak another language, like it's beautiful. It's beautiful that we're all different. I think sometimes, like, I think this is true in everywhere, but kids can be cruel sometimes. it was such an amazing experience to grow up in the countryside of Japan, because Japan is one of the most beautiful country. I'm a bias. And I've had such a wonderful time in schools, and I loved every single moment of it. But at the same time, like the toughest, like a tough thing could be, going to a school in a place like Japan, where majority of the people, especially if you go to Japanese school, majority of the students are Japanese, and you're the minority. And sometimes you just feel left out, and you feel like not included, and you don't really if you don't know how to stand up for yourself or hold your ground, almost, you can fall for anything. I think maybe, but my biggest mistake was I wanted to be 100% Japanese. I actually not like the way I looked. I didn't like the fact that I was mixed. I wanted to be like everybody else. I thought that was the best thing. I just wanted to blend in, So for me, it was just, it's an unfortunate thing, because I wish, I don't know, I guess I figure out, or somebody told me that it's okay to be me. This will touch people's heart, and that, especially the little ones can, learn something from this book and from my experience. And I mean, and even the people who are not going through a kind of, a similar experience as me, but to be able to help navigate, or, help others, that we understand that there are, people or kids going through something like this, and to be more fortunate.